Okay, so you get this photo, which is a Photomatix result. You get this with every time you edit a photo. Here's the second one you get, which is a flash photo. The colors are good in it, so we can use some colors from it, show you that later. Okay, so the first thing we want to do in this photo is we want to select all of the whites. The reason we do this is because in some rooms there's a lot of shadows and things like that in the ceiling, and what I'm about to show you next will remove a lot of the shadows and just even out the tones in the whites a lot more, make the end result of the picture look better. Right, so that's selected. Now what we want to do is open up Viveza, which is Nik Collection software. I'm going to increase the brightness, decrease the contrast, drop the saturation. Let's see, so that all looks pretty good. Now it's going to look a bit too bright, but for now that's fine. We're going to brighten up the rest of the stuff around it. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to select the windows, and this is to avoid them blowing out. A lot of the times the windows are quite bright outside, so if we just create a separate layer for the windows, then they won't increase in brightness throughout the process. So that's all done. So now we're just opening up, we're just going to sort of increase the brightness and a little bit of contrast and structure on the walls and the floor. And you'll see that won't affect any of the other layers that we've created. Yep, okay, well, it looks a little bit bright. I'm going to drop back the opacity of that Viveza layer, just till it sort of looks alright. Alright, so now I'm going to grab my flash layer, I'm going to drop it over the top, and I'm going to blend it with color mode. You'll see what that does for the color. So it changes the color to actually what it is inside the room. Just drop the opacity a little bit so it's not too much flash. Okay, so now I'm also just going to steal the floor off the flash photo because that looks pretty good. Looks a bit better than the one that's there, so I'll just drop that over the top, drop the opacity to what I'm happy with. Probably something like that looks pretty good. Merge all it together. Next thing we want to do is we want to crop the image. Has to be cropped at 4:3 because yeah, you always have to crop it 4:3. We have to save it twice. We have to save it in in high res version and also a web version for the client. So what I'm doing now is just straightening the edges, which is fairly simple. You just want to make sure that you have a look at any verticals in the photo and just line them up against the grid to make sure that the image is as straight as possible. Alright, so we're happy with that. Next thing I might do is I'm going to save the image. So I'll create a folder for it. Alright, name this one test. Inside there, going to create another folder for high res. So I'll save my high res in here. I want to save it between about 1 and 2 meg is good size, so that's good. Next thing I want to do is I want to resize it to 800 by 600. Alright, that's good. Oops, I accidentally saved it in the high res folder, so I'll have to go back and just do that again. Dun, dun. Yep, high res, save that. Right, now I'm going to resize it 800 by 600. Now I'm going to save it in a separate folder. There we go. Between 1 and 200 KB for these ones is good size. Alright, and that's it.